On behalf of all of us here at the Friends of Science Society, I would like to thank you for attending our annual general meeting. Your generous support over the past year has been greatly appreciated. This is my 5th year as president, and I am looking forward to another year of working with the great people that make up this small but important organization. We have a lot of work to do, and your continued support will be needed. I'm making this speech more personal this year and void of any charts this year. Not easy for me to do. And of course, I've got a chart to start with, but you don't have to look at it in detail. We and our predecessors have been at this for a long time. This is our 24th year. And unfortunately, we cannot hang up our keyboards and audiovisual equipment just yet. I started down this path over 30 years ago. Although I did not know it at the time, I was the lead engineer on a CO2 sequestration project back in the early 90s. We called it an acid gas disposal project, but it was 80% CO2. The whole global warming issue was just rearing its ugly head at the time. And I did check into subsidies. Unfortunately, we were ahead of our time. Those subsidies were not forthcoming. But on the upside, and for what it's worth, I'm good with my carbon footprint that I'll leave this planet with. I spent the next few years listening to people like Dr. Tim Ball, read John Casey's book, Dark Winter, and watched with some amusement and frustration as the ClimateGate email scandal unfolded and was quickly swept under the rug. Ross McKittrick and Stephen McIntyre wrote an interesting and informative postmortem in 2019. The more I listened to and read, the less probable the global warming hypothesis seemed. Now, my interest in global warming reached a tipping point in 2015. I was having a discussion with one of my daughters about global warming. Our views were not in line. The discussion ended when I was told that the science is settled. That's not a statement that should be made to an engineer with some time on his hands, some knowledge on the subject, and a little OCD. Our last company was sold in 2015, and I have probably been retired since then. I just haven't officially acknowledged it yet. So I have had a lot of time to truly research this subject. That involves sourcing and analyzing the raw data to see what the data was telling us, devoid of the opinions from anywhere on the realist, alarmist climate change spectrum. My engineering career was based on data analysis, understanding geology, the first climate scientists, computer modeling, and document preparation. All skills that easily transition to the field of climate science. Armed with the empirical data, scientific method base, I began writing on the subject. All those musings, and there are many, are available on my personal website, climatechangeandmusic.com. Around 2015, my wife Patty, while on board with my position on climate change, suggested I find an additional outlet for my global warming discussions. The Friends of Science Society provided me that outlet and has led me to where I am today. That is my general history. Where are we today? Societies around the world have started to recognize the pitfalls of net zero, the energy transition, the Green New Deal, the Great Reset, etc., and the burdensome, unnecessary regulations and restrictions on freedom that accompany them. Some very important, tangible developments have fallen into place over the last year. Start with the RCP 8.5 or SSP 5-8.5 implausibly high emission scenario has been officially relegated to the sidelines by the Coupled Model Intercomparison Project, CMIP. The group, through their Scenario MIP subcommittee, they're responsible for the IPCC computer model protocols. There is no climate emergency without the implausible emission scenario, RCP 8.5. It was never plausible, but has been routinely and recklessly used by academics, financial institutions, media, and politicians for their policy decisions. Secondly, a widely used report, COTS et al. 2024 on climate change economic implications, was retracted recently after their estimates of climate change damage were found to be greatly exaggerated. Friends of Science Society has requested several times that the Office of the Superintendent of Financial Institutions, OSFI, address both the COTS et al. And RCP 8.5 retractions, with no response to date. Until they do, they are not honoring their fiduciary responsibilities. Down in the US, they are well on their way to repealing the EPA's 2009 greenhouse gas endangerment finding. That's a similar process that needs to be played out here in Canada. The US has also pulled out of many international organizations and agreements, both within and outside the United Nations, the UN. This includes the 2015 Paris Agreement, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, and the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, the UNFCCC. Canada should withdraw from these as well. I would suggest that global organizations such as the World Economic Forum, WEF, also be dismissed. Still down in the US, in July 2025, the US published a report entitled A Critical Review of Impacts of Greenhouse Gas Emissions on the US Climate. The report has not been fully endorsed due to some incorrectly filed paperwork, but is available on the government website. The report provides a more realistic viewpoint on the climate than that put forward by the alarmist community, in my opinion. Closer to home, Calgary became the first large municipality to rescind their climate emergency. I give kudos to Mayor Farkas and the 9 councillors who supported that recession. And just more in general, the realities of energy and food security are becoming increasingly visible to the general public. Our politicians of all stripes need to start recognizing those realities. I'll wrap up with a quick discussion of my trip down to Washington, D.C. in early April for the Heartland Institute's 16th International Conference on Climate Change. For those worried about Friends of Science Society finances, don't. I've covered those costs myself. I had the opportunity to talk with many of the speakers and like-minded individuals. There were many great speakers and topics, all available on the Heartland's website and social media platforms. The mood was very upbeat. Lee Zeldin, director at the EPA, opened the conference to the chagrin of the local media. I learned a lot and have made some great contacts. We had a couple of protesters interrupt the proceedings briefly on day 2, but they were dispersed quickly by the participants, led by Dr. William Happer, the 86-year-old professor emeritus from Princeton. His skills obviously stretch well beyond just climate, atomic physics, optics, and spectroscopy. Lucy Biggers and Chris Martz, 2 young climate realists, handled the interruptions to their presentations smoothly and professionally. I found it interesting that the protesters targeted the conference's youth panel. Our future will continue to look better as young people like Lucy, Chris, Annika Sweetland, and Emma Anns continue to join the realist movement. So, overall, we've had a great year, but I will leave those details to Michelle. Just know that our supporters, you all, have stepped up and put Friends of Society in a strong financial position over the last couple of years. That support is greatly appreciated, and we are ready to face the coming challenges. We hope your support, whether financial or otherwise, continues. And please continue to share our material with family, friends, and influencers. Again, thank you.